Eddie Marsan joins me now. It's so good to see you.
Oh, it's lovely to be here.
So good to see you. Tonight at 9 o'clock, Sky Atlantic, hurrah. And Terry, I mean, it's difficult. For people that have not seen it, how would you sum it up, do you think? Can you sum it up in a sentence?
It's the story of three brothers from Boston who were abused by a priest, Catholic priest, when they were children. One of the brothers, the middle brother, Ray, went to LA and became a Hollywood fixer. And he covers up what Hollywood can't admit about himself, and the three brothers can't really admit what happened to them. They can't articulate the trauma that happened to them, so they deal with everything dysfunctionally and violently.
Exactly. That sums it up absolutely beautifully. It's the real sort of dark belly of Hollywood as well, isn't it? I always think with Terry, though, he's like the heart of it, because he breaks your heart. They all do. I mean, because you think you can see them on this self-destructive path, and there's happiness. You know, there's a woman that loves him. So he rejects her. You know, there's a chance for happiness, and they all turn their back on it. Well, it's heartbreaking.
One of the joys of playing Terry is that he's so duplicitous.
Of course, he's struggling with many things, and he's struggling with Parkinsons. And for you as an actor, you've got to get that absolutely right. But even more so because someone very close to you had the disease, so you have to get it right. You know,
my mentor, the guy who paid for me to go to drama school, he died of Parkinson's about 8 years ago. And when I was asked to do the thing, it kind of felt right for me to do it, and I felt a great obligation to get it right, and the writers do as well. So we talk to Parkinson's sufferers, and we talk to doctors, and we talk about the symptoms, but also we talk about the different treatments that are developing. Terry had deep brain stimulation, which is a new development for Parkinson's disease sufferers. And we make sure we get it right every year, and we create an arc, and so it's getting worse and worse every year. So eventually it will, I don't know what's going to happen at the end.
Who knows? Because that's the thing about there, you just never know how the series is going to go. You know, characters that you think are going to be there forever, suddenly they're not. It's really... And that keeps you on the edge of your seat, it really does. You spend an awful lot of time on airplanes because of this job, don't you? Because you're backwards and forwards on the permanently jet-lagged.
Well, I don't. I used to work 50-50 in the US and 50 in the UK, and I don't anymore. I now work 100% in the US and I commute home. I just don't get the work here. I think Ray Donovan's a very successful show in the US. So American directors want me all the time to work over there. I don't get the great parts in the UK that I get in America.
That's so sad. In a way it's sad, because obviously you're a real family man. And it'd be brilliant if you had a job that was, you know, close. You don't have to
Well,
get...
I'm working here now. I'm doing Hobson Shaw with David Leitch, and we're doing it with The Rock and Jason Statham, and we're doing that in a British studio at the moment, but he's the American director of Deadpool 2 and Atomic Blonde. So he employs me every year to come and do a part for him.
Well, see, that's the thing, though, because if you get that relationship with the directors, they know you're going to do a great turn for them. So why wouldn't they? It makes perfect sense. Deadpool 2, you were horrible. The thing about you is you cannot pigeonhole you. You've been so many different parts, so many different things. It seems like you can turn your hand to anything.
Well, I think that's the job of an actor, really. I mean, you wouldn't ask a carpenter to make one table or a session musician to play one kind of song, because then they'd be out of work. So I very early on, I realised that the more diverse I get and the more technically able I get, the more I work. And it's just really a desire to work.
It must be great, though, because if you are a certain type of actor, you're always going to be doing those roles. You know, you're the leading man, the good-looking fella, or, you know, you're the villain. But you can just...
Well, I realised very early on, I mean, I'm white working class, and there's not many people from my culture writing or developing or directing films.
That's true,
So there wasn't a great diversity in the roles for people from my culture. So I realised I had to transcend people's idea of myself in order to get diversity, in order to guarantee a long career.
It's really interesting, because when you look back, there was this sort of explosion in working class talent, you know, sort of like Look Back in Anger and all of these things, the so-called kitchen sink dramas. Now, most of the guys who are getting work are really posh. And that's okay. I mean, nobody's saying that, you know, they shouldn't. But it just seems to be strange that there's this trend at the moment.
I think what you're talking about, the kitchen sink dramas, I worked with a few of those writers. I worked with Pinter. And I realised a lot of them were grammar school kids. So a lot of working class kids went to grammar school and they came out, and if they had ability, then they became writers. And the grammar school system is not in place anymore for many different reasons, some of them right, some of them wrong. But what's happening now is the access to the arts and the funding for arts training is only accessible to people from privileged backgrounds. So the arts is becoming a representation of our equality and not our diversity, and that's the problem.
It is. It's really sad, actually, because you just think there'll be so many, you know, working class actors and actresses who'll never get a chance. They might not even try.
Well, I'm working with Idris at the moment, and he made a speech in Parliament.
Idris Elba.
And in the speech, he said, there's talent is everywhere, but opportunity isn't. And I thought that was a great comment.
That's true. Well, more power to him and more power to you, because the more that you do it, the more people say, he did it, so therefore I can't. And that's really important, isn't it? Next project, you are a wolf, I believe? Yes,
I am in Mowgli, Andy Serkis's Mowgli, which is fantastic.
I can't wait to see that.
It's great. We've been doing it for 4 years. The process of making the film has taken 4 years. Wow. There was a period 4 years ago where we had everybody in a hotel in the southeast of England. There was me, Benedict Cumberbatch. There was, I mean, it was literally, it was like a BAFTA award ceremony, and we're all running around with these contraptions on, being wolves and tigers.
Oh, brilliant! Because it's sort of stuff, the action thing that he does.
It was great. And Andy was directing us, but we all knew each other as actors. We've known each other for years, like 20 years. So we all used to meet up in Starbucks when we couldn't get jobs and have coffees and stuff. And there we are, all play acting, and it was great. It's great fun.
Oh, I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see that, and I'm so excited tonight, 9 o'clock, Sky Atlantic, Ray Donovan. Thank you, Eddie.
No, my pleasure.
I'm trying to get you on for ages, and it's so good that you managed to do it. Managed to get you in between flights. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Indeed. It's great to see you.